right? And I'm getting word that our next run is ready. So everybody get hype for Heponwana's 80% run of What the Car? Start your engines!
Good morning, everyone. I am Heponwana. I'm going to be showing you a perfectly normal, I think it's a racing game. It's about cars. I'm sure there's nothing silly on this. Just a good, wholesome racing game, or maybe something very weird and different. Hope you have a lot of fun with this. So, we're doing any percent. Any percent means we are going to play through the original game when this first came out on iOS devices. I think 2023 is when it came out. It had 7 episodes, so we're going to play through those 7 episodes. They added some more after it came out to Steam a couple months ago, but instead, we're just doing the any percent. And important things set up our run is we want to make sure we can get into the user-created stages. We're not going to play them, but maybe we will. This run makes as much sense as a game about a car with legs. So anyways, I'll explain more of what's going on as we get into it. Like with a lot of speedrun games, we start the run by resetting our save. So run will begin as soon as I hit the reset button right here. So if we're ready on timer, it begins in 3, 2, 1, go. And so we immediately begin by skipping the tutorial, because we don't need a tutorial. I know how to play, you know how to play. Well, you might not know how to play, but I'll make sure I explain what we're doing. I love to give a good commentary during a run so you could see what it is I'm doing and understand why I'm doing it, because this game has a lot of things that make no sense, including why is there a bear named Teddy on top of my car? And why does my car have legs? Some of these things won't be explained, but Teddy is trying to help me get his friends. He has a bunch of friends, and we are going to go and get all of his friends and bring them to a party. We're going to have a big old picnic with reset the stage. Why do we reset? Well, we reset our stage because every stage wants to be... Okay, that was a little awkward. Don't want to fall off the stage. But every stage, for the most part, begins with a little intro, a little song, and it'll just sing out the name of the stage, and that eats up a little bit of time. So instead, we just reset most of the runs or most of the stages as soon as they begin, just like that. So you don't get to hear any cool little intro song or anything like that, and I accidentally went a little overboard there. So what we're doing here is just hitting these speed pads so we could get to the finish line as quick as possible. Great thing about the finish line, you could go over it. You don't have to go through it, and we are going to go way over it quite a few times. And you're probably like, well, now we've seen the whole game. 2 stages in a row of that same mechanic. Nope, the game changes. It changes a lot. This one right here is a car with 2 big of legs. And we're going, hope. Alright, so this game has a lot of physics to it. And the physics can create all sorts of unique things. It creates the fun. That there was what I was hoping not to see, which is my leg became part of the geometry of the stage. And that can happen. This game, it doesn't necessarily have RNG as much as RNjank, which is, say, the physics can get kind of janky, and it's part of the fun of the game is how weird it gets because of the physics. This stage right here is a car with tiny legs instead of big legs or normal legs. So we're just going to keep going through as quick as we can right here and just go through that stage. That's going to be the end of us seeing a car with tiny legs, which is good because that one doesn't have as much silliness. It's mainly just bouncing along. Instead, we're going to be a car with springs. So we're going to just bounce our way through with our springs this time. And we're going to try and be smart about where we land. Ooh, and we overshot that just a little bit. So we want to try and be very careful with our landing position so we don't miss as many of those speed pads as I have been doing. I've been missing a few more than I'd prefer to. And then here comes a stage where we actually don't need to reset it right away. There is no introduction for it, so we're just going to bounce along. We just want to bounce up as high as we can. You might notice that card there. You might have seen a few cards in the stages. Those are for every stage has a collectible card, and each of those is needed for 100%. We're not doing 100% because that takes too long. We are in a hurry. Speaking of in a hurry, let's check out a user-created level. Actually, you know what? Let's not. So, I did that for an important reason. Normally, if you hit that button, you need to hit every button that connects to that gate, and that will open the gate to the treasure chest, and in that treasure chest is a friend who is going to go to the party with us. So every world has a friend in a treasure chest, because isn't the real treasure the friends we made along the way, which are all bears? But as we hit the button to power up that gate, it wants to drive us back slowly, going through the world map, through everything we did, and just migrating slowly backwards. Avoid that bear. Bears have a lot of physics. So if we accidentally hit the bear, we'll lose a lot of speed. So we want to avoid the bears more than anything, and we'll just jump in the water right there to end this. So by loading a user-created stage and then quitting in a hurry, once we hit the final generator button, we could go back manually and actually save some time. And you'll see what it looks like when we don't go back manually later on. We will actually have to go back and do the correct intended way back to the beginning treasure chest a couple times in this run. We want to, any stage where we're just running like that, we want to make sure we don't bounce more than we need to, because the longer you run uninterrupted without turning, the quicker you go. And now we are going to be a car with an umbrella. And so we want to use this umbrella to glide over these long gaps. We're going to try very hard to avoid this collectible, but we do want to go this area. You'll probably see me get a collectible or two during this run, and the main thing it does is if you get a collectible, it will add a couple of frames right here at the end of a stage as it brings up that collectible card. So we want to be very mindful of avoiding those, just because it'll add about a second on every stage that we do collect it. And there are some where we don't have any choice, but we do have to collect them. I mean, kind of unusual, a game where you have collectibles and they're actually going to force us to get a few of those collectibles. So right here, we want to land before we hit these jump pads. If you land on a jump pad, you'll actually lose a little bit of your speed. So by landing on the jump, or before the jump pads, you keep your speed and you get a speed boost. If you do the opposite, you end up losing a little bit of time overall. Now we're going to go to the playground and just have a little fun jump roping. Another stage where we don't need to. There we go. Wanted to get that jump pad to get a little speed boost. But we'll have another stage where we don't reset after this one. And this is actually the quickest stage of the game. I love this stage. It is what you don't do if you're on a playground. Do not do that. Don't fling yourself off of the playground toys. It is not good for anyone. 1.5 and change for the time on that. And once again, check out some user-created levels. Part of the RNG on this game is also if it takes a long time to load up those user-created levels, because sometimes the server can be a little bit slow, and I've actually had runs kind of die on me because the server was dying on me. And then we are going to load up a user created again right there, because opening that treasure chest that had our little friend in it is very slow. And now we have a new friend, and you'll notice he looks like a sports fan. which means we're going to go to the sports world. Every bear that we pick up in a world is going to give us a clue on what the next world is going to be. This one is sports. There are 3 gates we need to open. And sports is the episode where games go to die, where runs can die on you because there is a lot of physics weirdness in this world. I should probably add, because of how great of a cause this is, Trans Lifeline is a fantastic cause. I just want to say, if I end up having my car go off the course and die any, I am going to donate $10 for every death during this run. So I want to make sure that I am going to put my money where my mouth is on this game. And I figure sports is perfect time to mention that because sports is where there's a good chance I am going to have my first deaths in this run. So right here, we want to avoid these boots because those boots are going to try and boot us off the course. And we do not want to get off the course. We want to stay on course. Oh, that one did boot me, but we got through okay. Part of the fun of this game is you never know quite what the physics are going to do for you. Also, part of the fun is the music. Such a great song on this game. All of those deep lyrics of what the and car. It is the only words you will hear in this whole run is what the car, and we're going to hear that a lot. This one here, we want to get in that goal. And like I said before, you don't have to go through the end gate how it looks like you should, as long as you get through it. For that one, we actually got through from behind, and by touching it from behind, we got through and it counted. So this one, same exact as that last one, except the shoe is on the other foot. So instead, we're just going to lead that bear into our goal. We know where that bear is going to go, so we just have to guide him. Speaking of knowing where things will go, we want to take the most direct route, but we want to be careful if that ball hits us that they're playing with. It will actually slow us down considerably. You could lose about 10 seconds from that ball hitting you, so we want to be very mindful of that. And now we are going to the second part of sports. I played this game on the original Steam release, which gives us a very unusual, unfortunate effect on any of the stages where car is ball, which is what we're on right now. You'll see my car might have unintended particle effects coming out of it. That was saying they patched out of this game right away. The initial release is version, I want to say it's 5.4.0 or 4.5.0. It is too early in the morning. I have not had nearly enough caffeine. But 4.5.1, they added a patch to get rid of these unfortunate particle effects. Both the original release and the one without the particle effects are identical when it comes to speedrunning. And you definitely don't... Ooh, that is close. You don't want to run anything more recent than those initial releases, because we're actually going to have some skips coming up. Great thing about any percent, we will do some glitches to skip some stuff, and those glitches are not available in the most recent releases or most recent patches of this game. You're probably like, that's a very easy goal to get to. Nope. That goal, entirely fake. Psyched us all out. The real goal was the goal we found along the way behind the original goal. And now, you probably see there's a bunch of cannons up ahead that are going to shoot at me. These things luckily don't cause too much problem, but it's a precursor of what we're going to do right here. We are now going to be a car with a cannon. And we're going to use our soccer ball cannon to get through this area. This is one of the hardest... Oh boy. Okay, that is $10 for Trans Lifeline.
Count chat.
Like I said, if I die any, I am going to make sure to donate for this great cause. And now we are going to just slide on through here, go through the goal. And this game, the next stage is going to be another one just like that with cannons, but there is a good chance of overshooting the goal. It's the only time you could go over the goal if you go too high. So we're going to have to take a little bit of a slowdown at the end of this. Oh boy, oh no, that is $20 now for Trans Lifeline, because this is where I get to see my... There we go. We want to slide through that. If you take the intended route would have gone way too slow. Instead, we're just going to fling through the quick way. We're going to slow down just a little right there because we can go over this goal too high. And if you go way over the goal, it will count as a death and you'll just go flying off into the water. And you can see those cannons definitely are ready to shoot me. We will load up another user-created level, and then we'll exit out from it. The user-created levels on this game there are some really amazing ones, and it feels like such a tease to keep loading them up and then not to go through with them, but it's what we have to do for the speed run. So this is the hard part of sports. And you're probably like, that didn't look hard. That one's actually surprisingly tricky. Your aim has to be super precise on this, and we're going to see aim become a very important thing coming up. We're going to have two fun themes coming up right here. First one, foosball. I love foosball. Hopefully you do too. That is a perfect foosball run. Normally, the computer can really troll you on those, and actually, I have never done it that quickly before. Usually, it will take me about twice as long because those opposing players will catch your ball from time to time. This one is ultimate foosball, which is, say, it is a lot of foosball, and sometimes the opposing players are everyone's favorite red exploding barrels. I mean, who doesn't love red exploding barrels? That is such a, foosball type of thing, right? Ooh. All right, got that perfect. And then we will fling this sideways. And so far, we're doing real good, which always puts me on edge, because the better you're doing, the more likely you're going to get overconfident. And that's when things go really wrong. So let's try to avoid overconfidence. And then fling that around them. And wow, the goalkeeper did not get the ball. Normally he gets the ball and slows us down. I have never been that fast on that stage before, so hey, this run is going pretty good. $20 already coming from me to Trans Lifeline, and we're doing good time-wise. So what more could you ask for?
Meeting
Also,
the Pet the Dogs incentive for Grapple Dogs Cosmic Canines coming up in a little bit.
I'll definitely get that money in for that. I want to see those doggos get pet. And here we are seeing Rocket League. This is just like Rocket League, car, soccer, exactly like it. Big crabs. Wait. I didn't play Rocket League too much, but I'm sure there wasn't a big crab. Maybe I'm misremembering. Like I said, it's early in the morning. I haven't had enough caffeine. Ooh. So this is, believe it or not, one of the hardest stages in this. And this is where runs go to die, is the sports section, just because your aim has to be so precise. And trying to be precise with your aim is really tricky in this game. But what doesn't need to be precise is dealing with this goalkeeper Oh, so I hit the ball a little too quickly. When the ball first spawns, you'll see it bounces, and if you hit it too quickly, it will actually get a little upwardness, and that'll cause me to have to retake one of those shots. Luckily, we know where that goalkeeper is always going. He always dives to our left. And we'll load up another user-created level. And now, we are going to find out who is our new friend.
Do we have time? Oh, Scott, I was going to ask if we have time to read a donation.
Yes, we definitely do.
So, Zephyrus Lizard donates $40 to the Upgrade to 80% and Pet All the Dogs incentive and says, I'll join in on the challenge. $10 for each time I died in the Goonies 2. Let's reach that 20K for Trans Lifeline, everyone. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Yes, let's keep donations coming in. Trans Lifeline is so important, especially right now. This is a perfect time to support the trans community and show love to the trans community, because trans rights are human rights, and trans love, trans pride, very important right now. And also what's important is going to work. So we are now going to go to work. This is something you should not do at work. Ride around on office chairs with essentially some rockets attached to your car. Believe it or not, this is incredibly tricky control, because you're not meant to ride around on office chairs with a rocket. And look at that look on my face. My car is like, that was fun, and I am scared. Well,
At least you did better than the average driver on the I-95.
Although now comes the real challenge. This is the one where I have a good chance of dying, because this one is called, this stage, its name is a pun that sounds something like slow down or don't go too fast. Ooh, because it is hard to slow down once you get your momentum going, and pretty much you fling yourself right off a ledge to begin. Ooh, coffee. That reminds me. Thank you for the reminder, car. So, fun thing with this game is you could tell with how serious it is that it would not have any humor to it. But believe it or not, every stage is essentially a pun, is the name of it. A pun or a bad, like, dad joke type of thing. So, like, this one is called Go Home Your Sick Car. Not the best. Oh. Okay, that was some physics being physics. It's not the best pun, but they try and fit in car into the name of almost everything. So like this one was Go Home Your Sick Car. We're going to have another one of sickness right here. And of course, if you do have the ability to take sick days, don't go into work while sick, because it is the gift that keeps on giving, and no one wants to receive that gift. Now we are gonna fly around under the power of our coughing, and there we go to the end of the first part of work. And get more of that coffee in me so I could keep up my ability to work at this game. And now we're going to see different types of jobs. I should point out, in the upper right-hand corner, every time I finish a stage, it is counting up to 100%. That's not 100% of the stages, that's 100% of the required stages. And we're going to see a card here. We have to grab this card. There is no avoiding it. This card will tell us the name of the stage. It's Edgar Scissorhands. And there we go, Edgar Scissorhands, and that is the little bit of time lost from grabbing one of those cards. And then here we are going to be a car on a Roomba, which, believe it or not, Roomba's not as easy to drive as a car, so we're going to try to avoid flying off any ledges. It is pretty tricky with this Roomba, The Roomba can suck up anything except for bears. Like I said, bears have a lot of physics. Like, there is a lot of physics in this game, but the bears have the most of the physics. Which we could sometimes use to our advantage, because sometimes those bears, we're going to use them to help break our momentum. Other times, they're going to break our momentum, and we're not going to enjoy it. And now we are going to see other types of jobs. Such as, if you know the game Cook, Serve, Delicious, we're going to have kind of that going on right here. And there we go. Burger in 5 seconds. And then we have cooked a burger. Now we need to see the actual prep work that goes into preparing food. So let's do a little sous chef work right here. So this one, believe it or not, is incredibly tricky. If you add too much of a vegetable, you will have an explosion, such as that. But if we do it on the last one, the explosion doesn't kill us. If we do it on any other one, the explosion will kill us, and we have to reset. It is surprisingly difficult to do that sous chef work right there. And then here we get to be a drone car. And we're just going to deliver a package, flying along nice and easy, just taking the shortest route possible. So there are slightly varying routes you could take, but we'll just take the shortest one and deliver our package to the bears having a rave. And now there is only one stage left. You'll see we're at 90% of the required stages for this world, and the last one is at a bank. And you're probably thinking, oh, what is it going to do to show a job at a bank? No, we're not doing a job at a bank, we're doing a bank job. Which is, say, we gotta get rich. So, we're going to take the money and run, avoiding these lasers. If we get caught by the lasers, we're in trouble. Like I said before, we want to avoid jumping whenever we can. We always want to try and move as much on the ground and in straight lines as possible. So we are going to thread the needle on avoiding those. If we jumped back there, especially when we're going uphill, we would lose a ton of momentum when we hit the ground. So instead, we want to keep running as much as we can. And there we go. We are now done. 100%, we are done with working. I wish it's that easy in real life to just say, I'm done with working forevermore, and now I'm just going to be retired. Not that easy, though. So, I mentioned before how we play on a very low, a very old version of this game. And the reason we do that, more than anything, more than those particle effects we saw on sports, we do it for this right here. If you look up ahead as I go through this area, you'll see a stage is ready to go on the other side of this barrier. Well, we could teleport to that other side and skip 2 stages right there. And it's 2 of the longest stages in the game. Oh, there we go. That was unfortunate placement of my car. So this is all about just going in circles. Try and take the shortest route possible, so we skipped one of those platforms. And there we go. We are now going to do the same general thing, but we're going to be a super long car. So over on the right, you can see the bears doing what I just did, and now we're going to be doing it on a far bigger scale. Luckily, we only have to do a few bounces on this. And there we go. We are done with that. So this world is called Longer, and the first part of Longer is all about being very long, but then we are going to see Wobbly. Wobbly is fun, because Wobbly is where we get to see what it's like to be an accordion. That's like a accordion, but it's an accordion. Whoa, okay. And you could see physics are definitely doing some interesting things for me right now. So hopefully we don't die there, but that got very, very weird. That did things I did not expect. And then the next part of Wobbly is to be a caterpillar. It's like being a caterpillar, but once again, as a car, because it's all about being a car. So on this one end goes, then the other end goes, and we keep hitting our horn. Every time we honk our horn, we will change what end is going. We also want to be very mindful that if we end up... Oh, there we go. If we end up where we can't be fully on the ground, we cannot change which car we are. So that is part of the challenge there. And then also, we're now going to see a classic game for everyone who had a cell phone back in the early 2000s. You will recognize this game. We're going to play Snake. So, Snake is annoying for one reason. It is all RNG. We do not know where these pellets are going to appear. And unfortunately, the last one's going to be away from that... Oh, not too far away from the... I forgot there is one more. There we go. The worst case is when they keep going to the opposite ends of that playfield, because it takes far more time to get to them. And the worst is when the final one is at the very bottom, because it is so hard to then go all the way back. We are not going to load a user-created stage this time. This is what we have been skipping. This very slow-paced going through everything. And the reason we're not skipping is we never opened this gate. We skipped some stages. And if you're floating through like this, you could go through that gate. If you're not floating through, that gate is unpassable. By the way, same thing over here. We're now going to go Giraffe Land. This is the hardest stage in the game. You're probably like, doesn't look all that tricky. Physics get very physical here. And I have had more runs. Oh no, oh no, oh. Anytime your wheels are not regular circles, it becomes very tricky because your physics are all over the place on that right there. Speaking of things being all over the place, now we're going to be all over the place with giraffe tongues. We're going to use those giant giraffe tongues to propel us as if we were Spider-Man. And we're just going to fling through here as quick as we can. Definitely make sure we keep grabbing things. If you get too far from something you can latch your tongue onto, you slow down a lot. But instead, we go nice and fast. And now we're going to see, what if car was on a giraffe, but what if giraffe was skateboard? And if that doesn't make sense, well, here you go. What if car was giraffe? And what if giraffe was skateboard? And we don't want to ride those, grind those rails all the way because they go in long, winding directions, and that'll just slow us down. You're probably like, that was so much fun. Too bad it's only one stage of that. I'd love to see car is riding a giraffe, but giraffe is skateboard again. Good news. Guess what we get to see again? An even trickier stage of car riding giraffe, but giraffe is skateboard. We're going to jump onto this rail right here. We don't want to go up there where that card is. If you try and go for that card, there's a good chance you're going to fall into the pit anyways. It's a very tricky collectible. And then we're just going to go flying off. And I'm going skip that jump pad at the end. You're supposed to end with this real cool ollie up into the air, looking all excited. I spoiled our fun. Speaking of spoiling fun, this is a very slow stage, unfortunately. This one is what if cars' legs were giraffes? And it is just slowly pacing and putting down your steps. So if there's any announcements, this is a great time.
All right, let me just refresh again. Just take a little sip of my coffee in case. We don't have anything yet, but we are very close to $14,000 total for the event. And, of course, the Pet All the Dogs incentive in Grapple Dogs Cosmic Canines.
Let's get those doggos pet. I am a dog lover. I've got 2 dogs barking in my background. Luckily, I don't think they're popping up on my microphone, but I'm all about the doggy love. Also, I'm about yeeting giraffes. It is time to yeet a giraffe. And you're like, wait, what? Yes, we're just gonna throw this giraffe, and there we go. This game is very sane, very logical. Everything about it is very normal, logical, nothing weird about it at all. And now we're going to go ahead and load a user-created level, and you're like, wait, we skipped on this one as well. There's a gate blocking us. How are we going to get through this? Well, luckily, we can skip that gate. The other gate you cannot skip. It will teleport you back to the other side of the gate, so you're stuck behind it. This one, though, it worked out to our favor. And look at that, only 73% done because we skipped 4 stages there. And now we are off to driving. It's about time, a game about cars, and we're only now getting to driving. This is also the other area where runs go to die. So hopefully things go good. We have 4 different areas here. Each of those 4 is really unique in what it gives you. The first one is the ultimate in driving. 1 wheel. So there's going to be 1 wheel, there's going to be 2 wheels, there's going to be awesome wheels, there's going to be all sorts of wheels on this episode. So right here, you'll notice the theme is pollution. We're going to have a lot of polluted green goo. The green goo doesn't hurt us if we touch it, if it's on the course, but if we jump into the green goo down below, that will obviously end each stage and make us have to reset and make us, make me donate a little bit more. This one, we're a car in a hamster wheel, and we have cows. We've got a bunch of cows running around here. I am going to try for the best route here, but there is a good chance I am going to have to abandon from the good route and go to the not quite as good route. You'll see what I'm talking about right here. Okay, we gotta abandon. Oh boy. Okay, that is $30 for Trans Lifeline when I'm done with my run. And you know what? I have no problem showing you an unfortunate death in this if it means I am bringing in some money for a great cause, which is what we're all here for today. Well, today and yesterday and the day before. It's been a great last few days of runs. I am just going to play it safe here and not go for the... Oh boy.
That's 40.
All right. That is a 4th death. So I took it safe, and even the safe route did not work out in my favor. But it's all good because it is raising, bringing in money for Trans Lifeline, which is such a great cause, such an important cause right now. And we are going once again take the safe route, and this time managed to hit the physics of that curb and come to a dead stop. Okay, you bears need to stop with the pollution, because that is not good for anyone. Cows also, just like bears, cows have a lot of physics. Cows are a lot of physics. Bears are a lot of physics. And now, we are going to, once again, be a one-wheeled car. Or be a car in one wheel. We are also going to see UFOs. And they will help us to fly across gaps. And we're unfortunately going to get that card. That card we cannot skip if we want to take the best route. So unfortunately, we're going to lose a couple of frames right here at the end as that card comes up. And there we go. This time, it's for wheel. That was the name of the stage. And here we go. Final one-wheel stage of this area. And then we will be going off to other adventures in driving. But first, we gotta survive some really unusual jumps here. Ooh, almost lost some control there. Losing control is not a good thing. And there are a few other chances of deaths in this episode. This episode is one of the most dangerous ones because it is a lot of speed and a lot of just moving fast, frantic, and not really having good control over things. And then once again, we'll load up a user-created level. Actually, no, we won't. And this one, it is actually a little quicker to ride the bubble back, but the bubble would put us at that gate. Instead, we want to go over here, the next section, so it's a little quicker to get to bike rental, doing it this way. And now, we're a car riding a bike. Which, you know, that's perfectly normal. That's, you know, what you expect from a car. You expect cars to ride bikes. I think that's what sharing the road is all about. And the bike, for the most part, it's a very easy type of mechanic, but we are going to have some unusual things happen with car riding bike. We will also see more areas in this episode where the world map is in play. Alright, there we go. Take that. Oh, did not want to hit that like that. That was a little bit of a loss of speed. And then we want to avoid this jump pad, because that jump pad would have taken us to some dangerous areas. Not every jump pad is going to be in our favor, and that is something we will have to keep in mind as we run through these different stages. Unfortunately, lost a little bit of speed on that. So you'll see this elevator right here. We have to wait for it to let us go through. It is one of the least annoying map elements that we are going to encounter on this area. Because we're going to have one that is essentially a major time loss that we have no chance to avoid losing time on. You'll see that coming up in the final area of driving. But for right now, we're a car with upward pointing rockets while we're riding a bicycle. And there we go. We are almost done with the bike area. This last one has a good potential spot to be my 5th death. So hopefully we won't see that. But there is a chance of a death here. This is a stage that your momentum can get the better of you. And we're going to hope that our momentum doesn't get the better of us. Right there is where it is very easy to go flying off of the world. And thankfully we did not. And now we are done with the bike area. Well, as soon as we power up the generator. And you might notice there are these dotted lines on the world map, and we're only following the solid line. The dotted lines lead to user-created stages and to optional stages. You'll also see skulls every once in a while. Those skulls, like you see at the top of the screen there, lead us to challenge levels. So we are now in a slot car setup. That would be a 5th death. Alright, let's try and avoid crashing like that. Ooh. This is a tricky section because if you ever played with slot cars, I'm showing my age by talking about slot cars, really old school toy, but I grew up with slot cars and I loved just holding down the accelerator and then the car would go flying off the course. And that's what we're trying to avoid here is car flying off the edge of the course. So you could see my speed shift in the bottom right corner, and you'll see me threading the needle on how fast go. That one we actually had to collect the card because that's the quickest way. We're going to have, this is a good place for me to get my 6th death. Hopefully we don't see that, but this is a very tricky course because the skip we are going to do here is almost frame perfect. So let's see if we can. All right, that was it perfectly. And we wait, the gate comes to us. That one is incredibly hard. If you hit it it's essentially there are 2 frames you could hit that on, but they're not 2 sequential frames. If you hit it in between those 2 frames, you end up resetting in wrong ways. And now we are going to go to the final part of this, and the reason we saved this one for last is we're going to have to ride the bubble back. We can't do a user-created stage to skip ahead. And now we are an awesome car. We are a car with Hot Wheels.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, listen to that music, listen to that engine. We are one awesome car here. And we also have very bad steering, so makes it a little more fun. So this has all of those good trademarks of if you grew up playing with like Hot Wheels, I did, I loved them. I was all about toy cars as a kid. This has all of the cool mechanics, including the loop-de-loop. I mean, who doesn't like the loop-de-loop? We got jumps. Oh, actually collected that one. Usually, I don't think I've ever managed to collect that card. So we're going to have another stage, very similar one, but even more nuanced, and we're going to try and do a big skip coming up. Hopefully we get this skip, because otherwise we lose about a minute. So we want to avoid losing a minute, obviously. I mean, speedrunning, you don't want to lose a minute. That is the worst crime of speedrunning. So we are going to try and get a very precise skip coming up here, because we will have a loop-de-loop again. But it is a big loop-de-loop. It is so big that we lose time going on the loop-de-loop, so instead we're going to try and skip the loop-de-loop entirely. But first we gotta get through a lot more stage to get there. I love the fact that they give you such a long stage for this, because this mechanic of controlling the Hot Wheel is so fun. It is such an awesome stage to play. So we are going...
Water sparks for the raid.
Oh, awesome. Alright, so here we are going to try to... Yep, skip the loop-de-loop. Did that perfect. If you hit that at the wrong speed, you will actually not be able to make that final jump, and you'll just kind of drop off the edge. Instead, though, we made it. This is my least favorite stage of the entire run, right here. Car with bad wheels. And it is impossible to control this thing. So we are going to hope that we don't go diving off into the green goo down below. But it is, so very tricky to control this car. Believe it or not, I am really fighting this thing. Alright. And that's why our wheels were all messed up. Bears throwing green goo onto the track. That is not good for anyone. Don't do that. Be good about the environment. And now, after doing the least favorite stage of the run, my least favorite part of the run. Auto-scroller equivalent. So right now it's a good time if there's any announcements.
We don't have any announcements yet. I am refreshing the page so we get updated, but get those donations in. We've got plenty of incentives and plenty of awesome prizes for you guys to win. So !donate if you want to check out the link.
There we go. We are through that ultra long thing. So I mentioned before, we are not going to... Oh yeah, and we're a car with too many wheels now. I mentioned before that we are going to actually ride the bubble back instead of doing our usual skip. It's because of that long rotating bridge. Because if we took the load a user created level and then drive back on our own, we would have to wait for that bridge. I've done it by mistake before, and you pretty much lose about a minute of your run just sitting there. We are now a car with W heels. So kind of wheels, but heels. We want to be very careful because you'll notice sometimes tears will appear. That's because I'm going so fast that I might break a heel and fall down. So we want to be very mindful of not falling down. I have never worn high heels, but I imagine it is this level of not comfort. So we will go through, and there we go. We are now done with the heels, and we are done with the driving world. Car with heels. And once again, like I said, we have to ride this one back, because otherwise we have to wait for this bridge. Or we have to exit out to the first screen of the game and go through all of the subsequent map screens to get back to this screen to open up that treasure chest. And a lot of time lost right there. And once again, we will load up a user-created level so we don't have to open that treasure chest. Opening a treasure chest is a little bit slow, and you'll actually see one at the very end of this run because we will have to open one treasure chest. And now we are going into our last real episode, Water. So there is, after Water, episode 7, which is the party. Episode 7 is really short. So this is our last real episode. And then it's all pretty much just a slightly under 3-minute, just a little bit of silliness. So here we are a carp. That'd be a carp, but a car. A carp. And we're just gonna zip around, and we're going to have some interesting mechanics in this world, including a boss fight. We're going to have a boss fight. We're going to find mines in the water. And the great thing about mines is you probably think, probably want to avoid those. No, we're going to try and use mines as speed boosts. Essentially rocket jumping in this game. So we're going to try and hit some mines. We're also going to try to not fall off the edge of the world, because this is a very easy area to lose control. Unfortunately, I was going too fast for that mine to give me a boost. Sometimes you are going too fast for your own good. If I was a little slower, that mine would have blown up and just flung me forward. But, oh well. Sometimes you go too fast and that slows you down. Speedrunning, it's a weird dichotomy of things. And now we are going to be a little slower with a fancy boat. Our button does nothing except honk. It's one of the few stages where buttons do not do anything. These mines are set to blow up a little slower than in other areas, so they can't really give us speed boosts. Avoid the turtles. Think of them a lot like green turtle shells in Mario Kart. If you hit one of those turtles, it will actually become a green shell and start flinging around the map. And it could cause you to lose a whole bunch of time as they just bounce into you over and over. And then we now get our boss fight. Not the last stage of the game, but we do get a boss fight. You could probably not guess what the boss we are fighting will be. It's not a bear. And you could see up ahead those skulls telling us things are going to be bad news up ahead. There's a boss, and there he is, the sloth boss. So we are going to shoot this sloth. 3 shots, got it on perfect cycle. It is very hard to aim that cannon because of how the camera is. It makes it very hard to tell where you're actually aiming. And now, we're going to do a little karaoke. So all we had to do here is just honk when it says to. And you can honk as much or as little as you want, but it has to be during those spots. It's a perfect stage for getting a little more caffeine in me. Drink a little more coffee while we go through.
And you maybe read some donations.
Oh, yes.
So we got Buzzer Yum Yum, who donates $25 to the upgrade to any % incentive, who says, keep up the good work, Heponwana. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We have Moon Blaze Wolf with $50, who says, no dog petting incentive left behind. And who also donates to the upgrade to any %, but we pet the dogs. Thank you, Moonblaze. I was host during the Final Fantasy 16 run, and we did try to pet the dogs. He did very much encourage dog petting during the FF16 run. Torgle's a good boy.
Dog petting is so important. I mean, it is one of those things that you can't not be happy if you're petting dogs. And Buzzer Yum Yum is my partner. She is fantastic, always supporting me in my speedrun endeavors. So much love to Buzzer Yum Yum. Oh, and for some reason, my shark car, we're a shark car now, by the way, did not want to get out of the water there. So here we are going to do this boost. That one, unfortunately, we're too fast for, but you could see that nice little mine boost, that rocket jump. And we're going to have another stage of being Shark Car.
But how long is left in this run? Because we're just under halfway for the Cosmic Canines any % incentive.
We are getting short on time then, because unfortunately, we are on the last half of the last real episode of this run. I'd say we are looking at probably about 10 minutes left.
10 minutes.
Let's get those donations in, everyone. Let's make sure we are petting the doggo.
We do have a lot of great prizes. I mentioned the LCD Steam Deck donated by Sonic Mega. We also have Perler sets of Restar, Tunic, and Super Metroid. Set of 4 Fastest Furs Trans Pride coasters donated by Addie Joe. Furry Merch enamel pins donated by Elven Hound. A $100 Amazon gift card donated by Firebird Lover. LED badge and stand by Tails Soundwave. Custom stainless steel water bottle commission. Ooh, I might need that one. By Wolf Karma. Super Trash Bros t-shirt donated by WeaselGear.com. I love their shirts, by the way. The Pokemon Star Diamond Pixel Painting by Cat. Custom Armor Hoodie, Under Armour Hoodie Commission donated by Timberwolf Trading. And Dragon Roast Coffee Adventuring Party Bundle donated by Dragon Roast Coffee. And I think we could both use that one right now.
And of course, you all saw, no matter what, I cannot hide from it. That would be my 6th death that happened back there. So that'll be $60 coming in, and you better believe I am going to be putting my donation toward getting those doggos pet. Because, like I said, petting doggos, it makes you feel so good. It is the emotional medicine we all need in our lives.
Like,
all right.
Stop and smell the roses. Stop and pet the doggos.
Exactly. Doggos are so good. And this one is just like when we're doing with the giraffe, but a skateboard, but instead we're surfing. And we're going to avoid that card, because card equals time loss, and all of those deaths that I have been doing also equal time loss, but at least for a good cause. So let's make up a little of that time by not grabbing that card. And now we are going to dive in. Let's see, we only have about 1/3 of this world left to go. So we are getting very close to the end. This is essentially an auto-scroller of a stage, because all you can really do is jump. You're always moving forward. You're always moving forward at the same speed. It is the most boring of stages right here, because you can't even hit these mines. It is...
This would be a good time to get in your donations, and see, it's your last chance to get into any groan-worthy car puns.
Yeah, let's hear some... Bring in some car puns, because I love puns. Puns, for me, are just like petting dogs. They just feel so good. They bring a smile and just fill your heart with all that goodness. So here, one important thing on speedrunning this is you'll notice every time we get onto land or into water, we slow down a bit. And so we gotta be very mindful of that slowdown, because this is the one area of the game where our map movement is very important. We're going to try and get some speed boosts from these mines, but it can be a little tricky most of these. However, we might be able to get this one to play nice. Oh boy! Wow, that was not quite the direction I thought it would send me. Luckily, we did not go flying off into the great beyond, but that definitely went places. So now we're going to take up a part-time job. We're going to help people with their floaties. So we're going to give this one wants that one. These bears want a banana floaty, and we're going to see what they do with that banana floaty in the next stage. These 3 bears with their banana floaty are probably going to give our car friend a hard time. And this is the last real stage of the game right up here. So we've got about 3.5 minutes left, maybe 4 minutes. So get those donations in. And there we go. We got those bears off of our car. Nice quick stage right there. This will be another time for us to load up a user-created stage and then go back on that, not load it up after all. And there is some very good, important movement I'm going to be doing here. We want to avoid getting in and out of the water as much as possible. Like I said, you slow down a lot when you go in and out. So we're going to not go up on land right here. We are also going to avoid touching any stages. If we touch a stage between now and the next time we load up a user-created stage, it is going to slow us down considerably. Instead, by not hitting any, we're going to appear at the exit. Otherwise, we would have appeared by the treasure chest. So now we're going to the party. We have all of our bear friends. And the party is the final stage. So time will be coming up at the end of the party. The party has 3 activities to do. And then it'll be over for our little car friend for today.
Do we have time for a donation?
Yes, we do.
Sinar Coyote donates $20 to the Upgrade Any Percent incentive and says, I gotta see that Super Trash Bros t-shirt. Oof. Yeah, I do want to check. I think I've seen it at cons before. It is so cool.
So right here, we have 3 activities we need to do. 2 of them are on timers. So right here, if I was a good artist, I'd try and draw something. Instead, all I can really do is draw circles. So that's about my level of artistry. There we go. We have an 8. I am not a good artist here, so just circles are all you get from me. And this is designing the artwork for our party. Of which, it's actually the artwork for the next party, because we actually are loading up previous saves data for all of this stuff. This one, we make our song, and luckily our song we could finish as soon as we want. So there we go. That is our song being created. And you will see what it looks like to open a treasure chest coming up, because if I skip the next treasure chest opening, it will soft lock the run, and the run will be dead. It will completely soft lock. There is nothing you can do about it. So right here, we're doing our dance routine. And time will be coming up once we get into the mine car. The second our gear shift in the bottom right corner disappears. So time is coming up in, about 20 or 30 seconds. So be ready on that timer. We open this treasure chest very slow. That's why we normally skip them. If we skip that treasure chest, though, the bat will not show up to fly us up here. And time is coming up in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 time. And that there is what the car, any percent. And you could go ahead and see here our artwork, our dance routine, our music is playing. However, you don't hear it because we didn't really record any music. But that there is what the car, any percent. I'm going to be donating $60, 1 for each death I had. You know that's going to go towards petting those doggos. Hopefully all of you would want to also donate. If not, $10 per death, maybe $1 per death. Bring a little extra money in to Trans Lifeline. Fantastic cause. Much love to all of my trans friends, to the trans community. Especially in these days, much love. Trans rights are human rights. And thank you all for having me. I'm Heponwana. You can follow me, Heponwana, anywhere. The great thing about having a name that unusual is I'm the only Heponwana out there. So if you come across a Heponwana, it'll be me. Thank you all for having me. Much love.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Very demure, very straightforward, very dressed down speed run of what the car, a very straightforward and completely normal game. It was really, under the sim genre.
Yeah,
So I'm just
it's a very simple, very logical racing game. I wish I had something a little more exciting and weird, but sometimes it's the very logical games that you have to show off.
mm, all right.
Uh,
We do have a donation to read. Firebird Lover with $10 to the upgrade to any percent, but we've got the doggos incentive. Says, I was going to submit a pun, but I couldn't think of any cars, especially not any fast sports cars with beautiful iconography on them. I wish I knew more of the lyrics to Tracy Chapman's Fast Car, but that's how it goes. So we are going to kick it over to an interview we have with Lori D. Bunnykins interviewing Shovel Claws for their Grapple Dog speedrun. So I believe we are just about ready to kick it over to them whenever you're ready.
All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to Fastest Furs Fall Fest 2024. Today I am here with Shovel Claws, who will be running Grapple Dog's Cosmic Canines for us. How are you doing today, Claws?
I'm good. I'm really excited for the run coming up because Grapple Dogs is a really cool game. Well, I guess we'll talk about it, huh?
Yeah, I would love to talk about it because I have played the first game, but I actually haven't played this one. However, I'd also suspect that there's a good amount of people here who maybe have played neither of them or haven't heard of them at all. So do you want to give us a quick rundown what the game is about, what's going to be happening during your run?
Yeah, the basic premise of Grapple Dogs is kind of in the title. You play as a dog who has a grappling hook. I mean, that premise is cool enough. Games with a grapple hook tend to make good speed runs. But you play as two dogs in this game. In the first game, you play as Pablo, the golden retriever, who is dumb as bricks, but is super lovable. He's awesome. And in this game, we get introduced to Luna, who has some additional movement mechanics that we can talk some more about over the course of the interview. But it's a really fun 2D platformer. It has a lot of really cool speed mechanics and some really awesome level designs and gimmicks that really spice up the formula of the run and kind of keep it flowing throughout the whole thing. It's been an absolute joy to learn for this event and GDQ events, but I'm really excited to run it for the first time. This is the first time this game in specific, I think, is getting shown. Maybe second now. I think another runner got into another event, but one of the first times that this game has gotten shown off, and I'm really excited to be doing it. It's going to be a really fun time.
Yeah, and we're super excited to have it for sure. Although I would love to dive into Luna, that second dog, a bit, because you talked about Pablo and that grappling hook, but Luna has quite a few other things. Do you want to talk about the other moveset?
So, maybe a bad idea to give a dog a gun, but, indie games do the things that AAA developers aren't brave enough to do, so we give a dog a gun, and Luna gets a gun. And it actually opens up a lot of really cool movement abilities. Luna herself has this air dash that sends her forward whenever you use it, and you can kind of angle it up and down, but generally it's more forward than vertical. But with the gun, you can actually aim it downwards and shoot under you, and that reduces how fast you fall. So you actually fall slower, which allows you to use that air dash to keep yourself in air longer and lets certain routes be possible. And it's especially helpful when getting some of the collectibles required for the run, because otherwise it'd be a lot slower to traverse around the stage in more roundabout ways. There are a few examples of that you'll see during the run, but being able to just shoot downwards and float is so comically funny. It makes the run so much better. I'm so happy it's an actual mechanic in the game.
Shooting downwards to boost yourself up is one of those things that, like, I think everybody thinks it would be funny if a game let you do it more. So every time a game lets you do it, it's a ton of fun. That being said, the game isn't just the levels. Each world, I believe, also has a collectible gate. You need to do more than just beat the levels. There are also these shorter challenge levels that only have one collectible in them, but they are a lot shorter. Would you say you usually look forward more to those challenge levels or the more standard levels?
I know my answer before you even ask. The challenge levels are like actually brain-rottingly addicting. The entire reason I run the game is because I literally, on my first playthrough, could not put down a certain challenge level at the very start. I don't think we play it in the run, but no, it is the first challenge level of the run. I forgot the route, but I had to think about it. It is the first challenge level of the run. I could not put it down for like literally hours just because Pablo is so fun to move with, and that challenge requires you to have really like specific and tight movement with Pablo, and it's a lot of fun. So yeah, I got sidetracked on my first playthrough of this game with one of the challenge levels. So I always like love when I get to a challenge level because that's just like it's so bread and butter ILing that it actually rots your brain a little bit.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can't make sense. And one other thing about your run I want to ask about, probably something that a lot of people are excited about. Your incentive, any percent, but we pet the dogs. We need all the details. How long are the pets? How many pets? Do both the dogs like it? Do we have tail wags? Do we have barking? Give me every detail you can.
There will be a lot of barking and a lot of petting. The dogs make dog sounds during the entire run, so you know it'll be great for our yappers in the chat. But the incentive is actually impacting gameplay, so you're not just giving me money to press one button. The way you actually pet the dogs in the game is by collecting everything in a stage. So in a lot of stages, we end up collecting 3 gems. Those gems are used, as Lori said earlier, to open collectible gates. So, you know, it's a lot more of a dynamic route. You might route certain stages in because they have faster gems over other ones, even though on a base level they are longer. What any percent but we pet the dogs, that's the real category title, does is there's another collectible that you have to collect in a cosmetic grapple hook located in a treasure chest in all of the levels. So that adds that treasure chest collectible into the run in order to, at the end, be able to pet the dogs again, since you can only do it if you collect all the collectibles. So it actually changes the route a little bit and makes it to where you have to know where those collectibles are and route them in quickly to what else you're doing in the stage. Additionally, there are some levels where we don't really collect the gems because there either aren't collectible requirements or we won't have to use those gems later on. We'll get them from other sources. And so those will add those gems in as well. So in the first 2 stages, for example, it's kind of a tutorial for both of the dogs. We'll be adding the gems into those levels, so you know it actually impacts how I'm playing the game and adds a little bit more of the base game into it. But also you get to pet dogs, which is like a reward in of itself, right? So yeah, it's a really fun incentive. I'm so happy that it actually got taken because it's kind of a balls to the wall like random joke. But like I'm really excited. I'm sure chat's excited too. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's a lot of effort it takes to pet dogs, but
Yes.
the effort is absolutely worth it, and so are the donations for incentive. Thank you to everybody who has gotten those in already, and hopefully the more that will be getting them in if it hasn't already been met. Claus, thank you so much for joining me today to talk about grapple dogs, and best of luck on your run.
Thank you so much. You're not even gonna wish me happy birthday. What the hell?
Well, happy
That's
birthday! Oh my goodness. Well, I hope you have a great run on your birthday.
Thank you. I'm really excited. I hope you guys all love it. You know, this game is really great, and you know, it's always nice to be able to showcase some of my passion for indie games, and hopefully that reflects well into the run. But yeah, I'm really excited. Thanks for having me again. Always a joy with Fastest Furious.
Wait a second. And it's Shovel Claus's birthday, too? It's like fate is conspiring with us to get these doggos pet. Thankfully, we do have a couple donations coming in. Heponwana makes good on his offer to donate $10 per death during his run, with $60 and upgrading to any percent, but we pet the dogs. $10 for each of the times my car met an unfortunate end. Thank you for letting me show off this very straightforward and logical car sim, Trans Rights, aka Human Rights. Thank you for your donation, and thank you for such a very mindful and very demure game to show off. I mean, you do have until the end of Pogo 3D, Rui's Pogo 3D run, to get those donations in for the upgrade to any percent, but we pet the dogs incentive. So exclamation point donate in chat, exclamation point incentives for this and all the other amazing incentives we got coming up later today. $50 from Cosmic Cell, again with the upgrade to any percent, who does not have a comment, but we appreciate your donation all the same. And that's right, they don't need to be big donations. The small donations, donations of any size, helps get toward our incentive and helps out the wonderful charity of Trans Lifeline. You are watching Fastest First Fall Fest 2024 in support of Trans Lifeline. The mission of Trans Lifeline is to connect trans people to the community support and resources that they need to survive and thrive. They envision a world where trans people have the connection, economic security, and care that everyone needs and deserves, free of police, emergency responders, and prisons that disproportionately inflict violence and mistreatment on trans individuals. Since 2024, Trans Lifeline operators have answered over 100,000 calls from their peers, and we fully support the mission of Trans Lifeline to help and empower trans people through the power of community and shared lived experience. To learn more, visit www.translifeline.org. There we go. We're getting a lot of dog emotes in chat. We're getting a lot of happy birthdays from Shovel Claws in chat. We're getting the Predator handshake emote in chat. I am getting word that the next run is just about set up. So everybody, give it up for Rui and her Pogo 3D any percent run. Whenever you're ready, bring it up. Okay, we actually do have some time to read a donation that just came in from the Cat's Eye Nebula, who donates $21 to the upgrade to any percent incentive. Give the chat some pats for us. Bark! Thank you very much for your donation. Yes, $21. Yes, just make sure that I read that right. I wish I could give chat some pets. I'm just patting the side of my monitor right here. It's like you're all getting pets right now. Yes. Yes, for the entire Cat's Eye Nebula. Or the entire Cat's Eye Nebula. There's probably like other species, and they're, thank you, Otter Sparks. I'm glad you feel the pets. You feel the pets, get some emotes in chat, and pet us with some of your donations. It's a metaphorical pet. OG Happy Dude, I just woke up. Can I get coffee first before the pets? You know, I got my coffee before my hosting shift started, but you can get your pets anytime you want, especially if we meet an incentive and, you know, you get the Pet the Old Dogs any percent run. That's right, Team Fastest Furs is proud to welcome Dragon Roast Coffee as an event sponsor for Fall Fest 2024. Dragon Roast Coffee is a dedicated coffee for gamers and the gaming community. Their small, passionate team puts their hearts into roasting coffee to order, and each batch is roasted with the mythical heat of dragonfire, infusing a touch of enchantment in every sip. Use the command !coffee in chat for a link to their website, dragonroast.coffee. While shopping, enter the promo code FALLFEST at checkout for 10% off your order. Plus, for each 12-ounce bag of coffee, Per Roast Coffee will donate $5 directly to Trans Lifeline. You get coffee and supporting an excellent charity. What could possibly be better? OG Happy Dude, I love the sound. I love reading these blurbs because I just love saying things in a wonderful, well-read voice the way I do. And I can read your donation in my sexy, well-read voice. So any opportunity to make a segue like that, and I'll take it. We do have plenty of great runs coming up, and up next is